Hello, everyone watching, and welcome back. I am Michael Shaun Corby. I'm a global education ambassador. You might know me as the chairman of NAHA, or maybe I've even seen you on the red carpet talking about what you're wearing in your amazing nominations. We are so glad and excited for you to join us on these conversations that are meant to be casual conversations where we get to know the artists, where we see a little bit more into their process, look under the hood, if you will. And always we like to laugh and leave inspired. This guest, I just wanted so desperately to be on the program. Our first guest is, or not, she's not our first guest, she's our only guest today. In this series, our guest today is the global brand ambassador for Olaplex. She's an experienced international educator and platform artist. I've seen her, she's amazing. She's been touring in over 15 countries worldwide. She's recognized globally for creating iconic statement hair on the runways, in global ad campaigns, and for celebrities. You name it, she's doing it. Her creations are a staple at New York Fashion Week. I'm sure you just saw some in the most recent shows. She's in Women's Wear Daily frequently. She's an on-air beauty expert. I know I'm going on and on, but she really does all these things better than anyone. She's an international educator, like I said, and she has really curated this aesthetic beyond, hair imagery, and she helps top beauty brands as well. So I'm personally so excited I can't speak today, to welcome this superhuman to our show, the winner of editorial category. Please welcome editorial stylist of the year, Naeemah LaFond.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here on this amazing platform with you and just have a chat.
Oh, it's so amazing. So I don't know if you're more excited about your Naha or I am. Like I was I was like, oh my God, like two Vogue submissions. Like, the work is just so beautiful.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I'll start right out. What made you enter NAHA? Because am I wrong? Is this your first time entering?
No, it is my third entry.
Oh, it's your third
Yeah.
entry. Ah,
Third entry, first win.
okay. Okay. And like out of the game nominations, how did you feel when that happened?
Oh my gosh. I was shocked, one, because I've been submitting and not being nominated. So I was just like, I'm just doing it just to do it at this point. Um, and also because that entry was like the entry that took the least, like, I guess the least effort. It just came so naturally. It just
Yeah.
unfolded so naturally. So the fact that like blood, sweat, and tears didn't go into it and I won was amazing.
Because you've done some shoots, I know, and we'll dig into that in a minute. I know you've done all kinds of shoots. Um, Two humans gave speeches that I feel are in the top 10 of all time. Kia, as well as yourself, gave those speeches. I was like, damn, these are like, I've never heard speeches like that. Yours was so meaningful and it focused on your family. I would just love, I mean, let's pretend we're there. We're in Orlando again. Could you give us a snippet of that? Like just the message you gave, and that, that sort of driving it home with you don't have to choose, girl, right? Like just could you share any of that? Because not so many people had the ability to actually be in the room.
Right. Well, I was thinking of writing something, but I decided not to because I didn't know how I would feel. And I'm really big on just letting like the universe lead and the energy lead. So when I got up there, I don't honestly even remember what I said, but I do remember that seeing my family in the audience. And that's what really struck me, that it was the perfect, it's exactly how it was supposed to happen is how it happened. Um, Being nominated in this way, in this particular time with my family in the room, my daughter sitting there, it was just perfect. And, I've heard all the things where people say, you can't really lead a very successful and aggressive career at the same time while being a really good mother. It's just not doable. And, I struggled with that concept
Right.
only because I've heard it so much, but I also heard a lot of really successful women say the opposite and say that, you can balance the two, and also that there's no such thing as really balance. It's just doing your best at each and letting things just flow. You're going to put your all into one thing and you're going to put your all into another. And some days momhood is going to get the most of you, and some days your work is going to get the most of you. And it's okay. Everything doesn't have to level out all the time. It's kind of like a seesaw.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like this, sometimes we're like that. Maybe it's day by day, and maybe it's season by season. Fashion Week is over here. Like, I'm at work, and my husband has to carry the load for me. So, it's a seesaw. And just to see her there so proud and excited for me, it just melted my heart.
And she is there. I mean, I follow you, of course. I try not to stalk you, but I am a fan. And just to see her, it's like she's got mom's tools. Like she's in it. Is she our future? Does she want to follow in mom's footsteps?
No, she says, I said, do you want to be a hairstylist when you grow up? She's like, no, I just know how to do hair. I know how to do a lot of things.
She's like, I'm just naturally good at everything, mom.
Yeah, she's like, it's just a
So
thing I know how to do. So I'm like, okay.
she's always president of the United States taken, or
Right? Exactly. But she loves the energy of the beauty industry. She loves platform work. She's come to so many shows with me. I've grabbed her and brought her on stage with me mainly because I want her not to like have that stage fright that I had for so many years. I want her to feel comfortable presenting herself on stages and in
yeah,
front of a lot of people. So I try to just like get her to come along. And now she's
yeah.
like, when is my turn? Is it my time to come up yet?
She's scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My kid has joined me on a couple NAHA stages as well, and it's such a moment when you see him look at you and hold your hand like proud papa, proud mama. You just
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's nothing like it. But
It's
thank you
amazing.
for sharing that because it was a tear jerker. I cry at everything, but that one really got me. So,
Thanks.
and it's just so inspirational. You don't have to choose. Being a mother doesn't have to change your life in any way negatively. And I love that you're really championing that among the other things you do.
Thank
Look,
you.
it's rare we get Vogue submissions to the category of editorial. I felt very strongly all along that is what editorial should be. And so, do you have any advice? Speaking for, could be younger folks, could be people just looking to see change their life a bit on their editorial journey. Any advice of what they might start doing to get to a place where they can do Vogue?
Well, I would say if you're just starting out, you don't know anything about editorial work, it's really about test shooting and getting together with other creatives to come up with photos for your portfolio. You really just have to start there. Even at this point in my career, I do test shoots now and then just so that I'm not always doing work that is already framed out. Because if you're always just doing work that you're hired for, the look is already thought out, the concept is already there. I love the idea of just getting together with other creatives and like, okay, so what are we going to do? Let's do a little of this, a little of that. So I think doing a lot of that in the beginning really helps shape you as an artist and really helps you to understand what your thing is, like what your signature looks like. You have to work out the kinks because in the beginning, you're going to do some things that are just questionable, and it is just what it is.
Right,
In the beginning, you have to figure out a lot of things. You have to break the rules. You have to flip things on their heads and just kind of figure it out because salon work and on-set work are very different. There are really
right.
no rules on set. You just have to make it work, and you have to learn what that looks like for you. So just test, 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 test.
Test, test, test. And these are creative conversations. Join the conversation, join PBA, get involved, talk to other artists. I think that's such great advice. And I'm an older guy in the late 80s, early 90s. That was it. Test,
Yeah,
test, test. You're working for free for years
yeah,
before you're getting a celebrity or a shoot. So great
right.
advice, and I'm glad to hear that's still the way to get there, because you gotta do a little do's in there in the creativity.
Yeah.
Um, while we're on that topic, describe your collaboration process with photographers and models. I agree with you. Editorial, at your level, I think you can walk in with, I'm thinking this, but I think for a lot of people, they've already predetermined through a brand, through a creative director, is going to be this, and you execute. Is your creative process any different between the two, or how do you approach the photographer and models situation?
Well, sometimes there's already a concept laid out and like a specific hair look and makeup look, predetermined before you even get there. And that's common. And sometimes they want you to help them come up with it. Luckily for both nominations, both photographers were like, we trust you, we've seen your work, we just want you to do what you do as the day goes by. And
That feels good.
yeah, and I really remember that day for the shoot that I won for, feeling like this is like why I do this. It felt so good to just go with no limitations and not feel like there are people in the room questioning it, or that, I need to scale back a bit. He was just like, do it. Do what you think is best. As we change the wardrobe, you change the hair to what you think is best, and I trust you. And
Wow.
I was just like on cloud nine that day. I just felt amazing. The model was amazing, Whitney Peak. She's actually an actress, and she has been someone that I've worked with since the beginning of her career. And just her energy as well really lends to my creative expression. When you have someone in your chair that trusts you, that trust your vision, it's so much easier to get creative. Because if the person's in the chair and they're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's hard for you to really get into it. But if they're like,
Right.
I don't know what's going on, just do your thing, you can
Yeah.
really just blossom and bloom as an artist. So I was so fortunate to have a team with me that day that just trusted in my work and in my artistry and allowed me to just do what I do.
So this not only is editorial, but this could have been Master Stylist of the Year. This could have been, Hairstylist of the Year. So you were really in the weeds on this.
Yeah.
It's not just a show up and do this. I had no idea, and I love that. I want to cover so many things in regards to models and how they're treated, and advancing your skills on set. Let's start here, because you do some very important work. Texture on set. You founded this. It's not only an event. It is a call to action and a catalyst for change. And I would really love to dedicate some time to this with some intention, so that people can really focus on what you're doing here.
Thank you. So, Texture on Set is something that I initially founded as a masterclass where I wanted to just take some time to share the skills that I've learned and I've known throughout my career that are around texture. We've heard the calls from models and actresses and people who work on set, people who are going to salons, about not getting fair treatment in the salon in terms of like how their texture is treated, or stylists not knowing how to work with textured hair. And we do have great organizations that are currently working on changing the laws for beauty schools and making sure that we have texture education in schools and also on the exams to get your license. And I'm like, that's amazing. And I'm so glad we're doing that. But also, we need to be training those that are already have their license, those that are already out there working. Like, we can't just leave those people hanging. We need to make sure that everyone is moving forward collectively. And something that's really important to me about Texture on Set is that it's really about moving forward collectively, doing this to together as a union better the industry, because I know that most of us want a better industry. Most of us want to do better. Most of us want to advance the industry and make sure that everyone feels welcome. It's not just a few of us, it's most of us.
Right.
I believe that. And I wanted this event to not feel like a lecture or like a wagging of the finger. I wanted it to feel like, hey, let's all figure this out together. Let's all together learn and grow and do better.
Amazing. And thank you for your openness and willingness to do that, because as someone who was not given the opportunity to work with more textures of hair early in my life, and then I really had to dig and push to get those skills. I'm glad somebody's, opening it up for those who just didn't get it and
Right.
really want to.
Thank you.
And I thank you for creating that safe space. And I know it goes both ways as well, right? I know there were, kids in beauty school where they just, oh, you have to do hair that's like yours. Well, that doesn't make any sense, because
Right.
we're artists and we
Right.
should be able to deliver on any texture of hair.
Exactly.
Any special call outs for this year's event? I know you're probably deep in planning. Do you have dates or
Yes,
or
we're doing March 10th again. The difference with this year is that we're going to have some guest artists join me on stage. So I'm really excited about that and sharing
Ooh,
who those artists are going to be. So I'm just really proud that so many brands within the industry have come on board to support Texture on Set, for the last Texture on Set and also for the next one. It really just shows the entire industry's commitment to forward movement and to change, and that we're gonna continue to just do better. And I'm just really proud of that.
that's amazing. Like, just such good work, and I thank you for it. Let's focus on shows and events, because I mean, I saw you at premiere and I was like, who are these magical swans walking across the floor? Like, you needed security to even get through, because it was, your work just stands out,
Thank
right? And I've seen you do shows, and so let's talk a little bit about how you produce a show, how that might have some difference between a shoot per se and when you're bringing it to life, if you will.
Yeah. I think what like why my shows maybe stand out is because I'm probably approaching it not from a platform artist point of view, but from an editorial Brooklyn girl point of view. I am
Right,
bringing my culture into it. I am bringing my experience on set, because when you're on set, you're doing a photo shoot, everything matters, right? The angles in the hair, the clothes, like, the attitude of the model, like all of these very specific things are things that I've been trained to focus on. So I do that for platform work as well, where it's like, it can't just be any model. She can't just walk any way. Like, there has to be like a whole essence to it, because otherwise the hair is going to wear you versus you wearing the hair. And that's like so important to me, that when I do shows, I'm like hands on with production, like, yes, this, no, that, like this is, I love this wardrobe. I love this dress. Hate those shoes. We need to change this. Because it all matters. The music matters to me, because I am a showman. Like, I'm going to be on stage. I'm not only teaching, but I'm also entertaining, performing. Platform work is so involved. It's not just being an educator. You have to entertain. There's so much stuff going on at a trade show. You can't
right.
just stand there and monotonely just talk. You have to
No.
be able to draw a crowd in. And I learned that from Robert Cromians, just literally
Oh,
studying his YouTube videos back in like 2012.
No.
I was like, what is platform work? Like, I've heard that, I've heard people use that term. And I went and I found his videos, and I'm just like, whoa, like hairstylist, and he's like a rock star.
Like a god, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like
like,
I'm obsessed. So I just watched a million Robert Cromian's videos, and he really is like a mentor in my head.
oh, amazing. Does he know that?
I
I saw
have
an
shared that
announcement he
with
was
him.
retiring.
I have shared that with him, yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a presence, so I can see that was a good one to like self-mentor there. The
Yeah.
hats and there was an energy about, oh, Chromians is in the
He's given
room.
a show, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really good advice. Any other advice? Because I've trained trainers and artists my entire life, and sometimes it's hard to explain that just because you have magical hands doesn't mean you know how to teach.
Hmm.
And just because you can teach doesn't mean you have magical hands.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm guilty of that occasionally. So, can you give us any of your insight on this? Because you seem to have fused the two together magically.
So, really, when it comes to teaching for me, it's really about making sure that I stay true to teaching things that I actually know. And I don't say yes to just teaching anything. I don't let brands or anyone tell me what I should be teaching. I know what it is that I know. So I can
Right.
tell you what it is that I can teach. You can't pick something out of the sky and say, "Here, teach physics." Like
Why? You
I
can
have to
teach
tell
physics.
you.
Come on.
I have to tell you what it is that I am like a master at, and you have to allow me to show that. And when there's that synergy between brand and artist and that understanding, you can see it on stage. You can see it in the work where it's like this person is in their element. And that's something that I've carried throughout my entire career, and making sure that I'm always locked in step with brands that really get me and allow me to teach what it is that I know for sure. So
Yeah.
I think that's important. That's something that shows on stage. So when I'm teaching, I'm just thinking out loud. That's important to me, that I am so like free on stage that the teaching is just me literally thinking out loud as I do the work. As
Yeah.
I wrap the hair around the curling, I'm just thinking out loud and not formulating words to teach. I'm telling you what's
Yeah.
going on in here so that you can step into
Yeah.
my head and really understand what's going on, and not me like creating like bullet points and like this is what I'm going to say and why I'm going to say it. Like that doesn't work for me. It works when you're
Yeah.
talking about like products, yes, but when you are teaching art, you have to get people in here. And I think
Yeah.
when that works best is when you're thinking out loud and you're in your element.
I love that. It's kind of like talking to yourself
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then cycling it out. Oh my God, I love that. So we know your imaginary mentor. Is there a mentor for you? Who is your greatest mentor? I know your mom,
Yes.
your Haitian
I would
queen
say,
I saw on Instagram, but is there another mentor in your life?
well, yes, there's been like my career mentor is Crystal Wright. She is someone who is a business coach, and she has really guided my career ever since I would say 2003. I went to like one of her workshops, and she taught me what editorial work was, because I was just doing photo shoots and testing and not really knowing where that goes or what happens next. And I saw an ad for her workshop, and it's like, do you want to do hair or makeup for like fashion or film? If so, like, come to this workshop, etc. And I went there, and that's when I was like, oh, Now I get it. Now I understand like what the next step is, like what the trajectory looks like. You can end up doing like billboards. You can do New York Fashion Week. You can do that. I had no idea because I don't come from that world. I didn't know anyone in that world. So I didn't know what the next steps would be. I just knew that I love doing hair on set and I'm just going to continue doing that. But she's the one who paved the road for me to tell me, like, okay, Naeemah, you need to continue to build your portfolio. You need to understand whether or not who you're working with is a good artist or not a good artist, because
Right.
otherwise you're wasting your time with all these test shoots. If you continue working with photographers that don't understand editorial work, then it's going to be pointless. Your hair could be amazing, but if one thing in that photo is not good, that photo is not good. If the
Yeah.
makeup is horrible, the photo is trash. If the photography is bad, the hair is bad. Like
Yeah,
everything
the
has to
lighting.
work. Yeah. Everyone has to be on the same page. So she really taught me to train my eye for that. She's like, you need to start picking up your magazines. You need to live in the magazine store. Pick up the Vogues, the W's, the Numeros, all these magazines, and like train your eye to understand what good editorial work looks like. And when you get that, then you'll start to really create high level work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's well said. Like that's someone who's really like, look, you want to do it, you got to do this. I mean,
Yeah.
amazing.
She's a tough
Uh,
love mentor.
I've had some tough love. Yeah, I was like, oh gosh. I mean, I learned in the '80s where there was still some hand slapping happening, and like the nights I went home crying and
Oh,
full
rough
of
times, rough
hairspray, and
times.
well, I'm stronger for it. You're working with Olaplex now, and are people able to receive some mentorship? Probably not the beat down that that we used to get back in the day, but like, is there a way that they can experience your mentorship in the near future? See you at shows and events that you could share with us?
Well, I will be doing shows and events, of course, with Olaplex. As far as mentorship goes, I do have a mentorship program called
Ah,
Black on Set. It's for Black women in the fashion space who are the marginalized ones in that space who don't really get the work that they should be getting. And I really want to like show like what Crystal did for me. I want to continue to share and not gatekeep that information, because oftentimes in fashion it's kind of like if you know you know, or you have to know someone who knows someone, and
right.
I just don't really subscribe to that. I don't believe in that. I feel like there's enough room for all of us to win, for all of us to work. So currently I mentor 22 women who are killing it right now. I'm just so proud of them.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm just really proud of that work. If there's something in my career that I'm most proud of, honestly, is my mentees and my mentorship, because I feel that my work is going to, is going to last until it lasts. And when I leave this earth and when I move on, I want to know that, the things that I learned, I was able to pass on and to other people who were able to share that as well and to live a good life off of the things that I taught them. So that's really what's most important to me.
would you mind if we share that? We'll edit this and we share that link. And is there any chance to join the 25, or are you
Not right
tapped
now.
out?
There is no link. I'm kind of at my max.
She's like, thanks for that, but no.
But I will open up more spots in 2025 for more mentees as my girls continue to grow and learn and kind of like fly on their own. I will open up more spots, but it's new. It's just as of
Okay.
this past year, so I'm just getting into the swing of things with them. I mean,
Okay.
I've
Well,
been mentoring my entire career, but
yeah.
what I found as last year, I was like, I need to find a way to do this in a way that is more sustainable, because I'm mentoring women like in different countries all over the world
Oh,
and having
wow.
a million different conversations where it's easier to just bring everyone together and we could just all talk together as a group, so that I can actually have a life as well.
I don't know. I think PBA should organize this, and we should just have a name. They're looking at me, wait, we don't have budget for that. I'm like, let's just do that. Let's the LaFond mentorships.
That's hilarious.
I'm starting the idea. I'm into like the spark.
Putting it out there.
I'm putting it out into the universe. I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I want to ask you some fun questions.
Okay.
It's actually all been so fun, but I'll first say I've met many who you have mentored, and there's never a bad word to say. They love you so much. So
Thank you.
yeah, you're doing something right there.
Thank you. That means everything. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you like some rapid fire-ish questions. Vogue, right? Consider it like your Vogue 20 questions, but I don't have time for 20. But what is the one hairstyle you've created that you're most proud of?
The Christopher John Rogers first fashion show hair.
Okay. See, I'm going to be wanting to pull. We need to take notes. I want to pull these.
It was the angular afro that went down the runway and like caused so much chaos. I love it.
And then I'm sorry, but that you see that a lot now, right? And that was like kind of the first time we were seeing this. It's like just celebrate. What is the Rachel haircut of today? Because we've come a long way since the Rachel. What is the Rachel today?
Honestly, I feel like it's not a haircut. I feel like it's a ponytail.
That gets into one of my other questions. It's a ponytail, right? You can do a lot with a ponytail.
Girls love a ponytail today, like the slick back ponytail. Girls are you braid it or you let it be big. I feel like the ponytail's having quite a moment.
I would agree. What is the tool you can't live without in your kit? It could be scissors or razor, or it could be anything.
It's my metal tail comb. Obsessed.
Metal
I
tail
can't
comb.
live a life without it.
So is it like nylon or plastic, the rest of it, and then it's thin metal?
Yep. So like heat resistant and then thin metal. It's made for highlighting.
Okay.
But I use it to kind of like carve through the hair. I use it as like a finger because I feel like oftentimes our fingers are just too big to be getting into certain spaces. So it's just like a light way to touch the hair without touching the hair.
I love it. I actually cut hair with a long tail bone comb, and people think I've lost my mind. I'm like, it's a cleaner finger. I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
Let's see. Who is one celebrity client you haven't worked with but would love to?
I Am a Star.
Okay.
I love her. She's like really like blooming and blossoming right now. I just love her music. For me, it's like it's not really about like people's level of celebrity. It's just like who they are as a person. That I feel like, ooh, I just love your energy. I want to like add to that. I want to like give you some hair that just really just amps you up even more. So that's really what I look for.
Let's tag her in this. Let's make that happen. Who's your hair icon? We know your mentor, but do you have a hair icon, past or present? I'm thinking this is more of like an artist of some sort. Who's your icon for hair?
I don't know. Hair icon. That's just a rough question. I just feel like I'm just like all over the place with that. Probably, I would say Vidal Sassoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of his ability to really just carve out like a brand for himself. Like he was just so specific on what his aesthetic was that even today, when you say a Vidal Sassoon haircut, everyone understands what that means. And I just think that that's just like so cool and iconic.
Amazing. And for those who have the pleasure of traveling globally, he's big in the United States, but I mean, it's God status. Like,
yeah, literally.
It's like
it's a household
the Church of Sassoon, and
it's not just hairstylist. Everyone, I feel like knows who Vidal Sassoon is.
Everyone.
Yeah.
What's a hair trend you wish would just disappear forever?
Um, let's see.
She's like, why are
You
they
know,
doing
I don't,
that?
I'm not really anti
You're
anything.
open. I'm open.
I'm not anti anything because I feel like the things that people think are quote unquote ugly or not cool,
Yeah,
we often incorporate into editorial work and make it cool because we're trying to go against the grain. So the things that people are walking away from, like, oh, like we don't like that, like that's
yeah,
not in style anymore.
back.
It's where the magic happens, honestly, you know.
Yeah,
And if we're not taking inspiration from the not so cool things, the not so cool things
yeah,
are often the ones that are the looks that are like just really blowing up and really paving the way. Like for example, like sleek ponytail, just like a little bun with nothing happening. You know, maybe 10 years ago that was like a boring hairstyle, but like now, like that's like the it girl hairstyle with like some gold
right.
hoops and a wing eye. Like that's the look.
Yeah.
So I'm open to everything.
No judgment. Wear all.
Yes.
Last of your almost 20 Vogue questions. Um, if you were not a stylist, what would your alternative career be? I
I
think I
would
have an idea.
probably, I would be a chef.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
Yeah.
that coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be a chef. I love to cook. I would probably own like a little 15 table restaurant that serves Caribbean food with like fusions of random countries that I've visited.
Okay. I love that. That's best answer ever. I also love to cook. I like doing extremely high calorie vegan food. I'm really good at it.
I love that.
I'll make you a mac and cheese. There's nothing missing except animal products. So let me know if you're in LA. I'll hook it up. But it's about
I love
2,500 calories a serving.
I love that.
I would love if you could close it out. I'll set up the context, future of beauty, looking ahead, any changes or advancements you hope to see, in terms of inclusivity, technology, or cultural impact. You have so much to say, so I thought I would give you the floor for a little closing here.
Well, what would I love to see? I'd love to continue to see us support each other. Like, I hate sometimes when I see like the negativity online towards other stylists and their work. I don't love that. I think that there's room for everyone's artistry. If you don't like it, keep swiping. There's no sense in ruining anyone's spirit or crushing anyone's spirit just to make a momentary thought or comment. I'd love to continue to see people just support each other. I think that's just so important in the career and the growth of artists. Like even before the internet, it was hard to go after this career because people didn't think it was a lucrative one, right? So people that wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that they thought made actual money and not be a hairstylist. So now you have that, and then you get online and people are like commenting on your artistry. So I cringe when I see that happen to artists because I know that comments online really affect people, and
Yeah.
really affect how they express themselves. So I love to see more love in the online space and, people standing up for each other. Like if you see someone make a negative comment on an artist's work that you love, like go on there and add a positive comment. Go on there and tell her or him how great their work is and how much you want them to keep going. I think that support is just so important in like in artistry and creative fields. That's what I
Yeah.
want to see more of.
Yeah, that's so pure. Be good to each other, right? Like, what are they getting out of it? I get some haters sometime, and I'm just like, why? What?
It's
That
so
to
unnecessary.
worry about. Naeemah, this has just been everything I had hoped it would be. So thank you. I know we had to wrangle a lot of busy tours and schedules and shoots and fashion weeks to get you here, but you made the time. I'll ask you this. You're not giving up on NAHA, right? You're not going to just blow it out and then drop the mic. You're
No, I'm
still
not giving up, not giving up.
okay. I need more wins. I need some hairdresser of the year. I need shows.
I'll be back.
We need all of you and all of your goodness. Thank
Thank
you
you so much.
so much for joining us today. And to all of you watching, wow, right? If this doesn't tell you to keep being creative, keep learning, keep laughing, and most important, like Naeemah was saying, keep lifting each other up because together we're unstoppable.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much, Naeemah,
Thank
and I
you. I
can't wait to
appreciate
see you
it.
again, perhaps on the red carpet.
That's right. See you soon. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye.